5 signs that your karma has been cleared. Life is a circle of cause and effect, where each thought, action, and word leaves a mark. When someone gradually clears their karma, they not only feel a sense of inner peace, but also see their life becoming smoother and more tranquil. This isn't luck or avoidance, but rather the result of cultivating oneself, transforming, and letting go of old burdens. Are you experiencing these changes? Let's explore 5 signs indicating that you've cleared your karma and entered a new phase, more peaceful, lighter, and happier. Don't forget to like and share to spread positive energy to others. 1. Inner peace, no more resentment. There are mornings filled with clarity, where sunlight gently slips through the leaves, softly touching eyes still damp with dew. The crystal clear sound of birdsong washes away yesterday's worries. In that moment, you stand, your heart as light as the breeze, free of anger, resentment, or blame. Perhaps this is the clearest sign that your karma has been cleared. Your heart feels truly at peace. In the past, there were wounds you thought would never heal, deep grudges, unresolved feelings, and losses that haunted you. Every thought about them felt like an invisible hand squeezing your heart. But time quietly flows like a gentle stream, carrying away each particle of the past. One day, looking back, you realize the things that once caused you great pain have now become distant stories without weight. You no longer blame those who hurt you, nor do you punish yourself for your past mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. Each person who crosses our path brings a karmic connection. Some come with love, others teach us lessons of loss. Understanding this, you no longer hold burdens within, not because you've forgotten, but because you've learned acceptance. A falling leaf drifting onto a swiftly flowing river gets carried away. Clinging too tightly would only trap it in endless whirlpools. By flowing freely, it moves effortlessly toward its natural place. Humans are the same. When we stop holding on to grudges, stop blaming fate, and accept what is past without tormenting ourselves, we finally find freedom. You no longer demand absolute fairness, knowing life doesn't always provide clear answers. Some pains we must heal ourselves, some wounds can't be soothed with apologies. You've ceased to crave explanations because you now understand true peace isn't about compensation, it's about releasing the burden inside your heart. In the past, you cried over unmet expectations, felt heavy-hearted when betrayed, and perceived unfairness when life was harsh. Now, you simply smile when reflecting on the storms you've weathered. Those challenges forged you into a stronger person. The scars on your soul now resemble the beautiful grains in wood, testifying to your resilience and growth. You no longer compete or compare yourself with others, no longer worry about what people think, no longer feel the need to prove anything. Having realized serenity isn't about how the world treats you, but how you respond to the world. When your heart no longer fluctuates with praise or criticism, no longer resents past events, only then do you truly experience freedom. Now you can sit on the porch, joyfully watching a flower bloom. You can walk down a familiar path once filled with painful memories and feel no pang in your heart. You can listen to a song once connected with longing and sadness and no longer feel your heart ache. These are clear signs you've settled past debts. You're no longer bound by resentment or trapped in regrets. Like a bird leaving its nest for the vast sky, like a dewdrop dissolving into the morning sun, you no longer cling, no longer grasp, no longer blame, no longer crave. Your heart becomes as light as the clouds. This is when you know you've truly found freedom. 2. Free from toxic relationships. Some people come into your life like a sudden summer rain, arriving unexpectedly, pouring down swiftly, then leaving abruptly, leaving behind just a faint trace of sunlight. They bring you joy, yet they might also leave behind scars. These were people you once cherished, fully trusted, but ultimately, they hurt you deeply. Gradually, over time, these individuals fade from your life, not necessarily because they've changed, but because you've changed. You're no longer trapped in karmic, toxic relationships. You're no longer clinging to connections that exhaust your heart. You've learned to let go, to allow things to come and go, embracing life's impermanent nature. There were times when you questioned why people treated you that way. Had you done something wrong? Were you not good enough? These questions hit your heart like relentless waves, yet no complete answers appeared. But one day, you understood, not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay forever. Some people come only to teach you a lesson, helping you understand yourself better, and once the lesson concludes, they leave. You've experienced pain from loss, hurt from careless words, and self-doubt when someone walked away. But now, looking back, you smile because you recognize that everything happened for a reason. Some people left your life to make space for others. Some pain was necessary to open your heart wider, teaching you to cherish simple yet genuine things. As toxic relationships leave your life, your days become lighter. You no longer need to force yourself to please others, nor guess at their hidden intentions. Instead, you begin forming healthier connections, relationships rooted in sincerity, free from manipulation and pressure. You've learned to listen to those who genuinely care about you, instead of chasing those who treat you merely as an option. One day, you'll realize that people remain in your life not because they need something from you, but because they love you exactly as you are. They don't try to change you or ask you to become someone else. They accept you completely. They don't exhaust you with unreasonable anger, wound you with sharp words, or place you in situations where you constantly have to prove your worth. You've stopped seeking validation from people who don't truly value you. You've understood that your worth doesn't depend on others' perceptions, but on how you appreciate yourself. You no longer require superficial praise, nor feel hurt by indifference. You've learned how to feel complete within yourself, and consequently, similarly complete people naturally gravitate toward you. These genuine connections aren't perfect, but they're relationships where you can truly be yourself. It's where you can freely laugh without fear of judgment, share your feelings without fear of abandonment, and experience peace without needing to force yourself or feel afraid. 3. Life becomes easier. Have you noticed that things which previously caused you deep struggle and hardship now feel much lighter? Life continues as usual, yet something has changed. You're no longer constantly battling with everything, no longer feeling unstable and weary amid life's challenges, work, finances, health. Everything gradually settles into a stable rhythm, naturally and calmly. Old difficulties fade away. This is a sign that you've endured the storms and cleared your karmic debts. Previously, life might have seemed like a never-ending sequence of challenges. Whatever you did faced obstacles, and no matter how hard you tried, it felt never enough. Life felt like a repetitive cycle: effort, stumbling, then standing up again, yet fulfillment always seemed elusive. Complicated relationships, invisible debts, and endless burdens weighed heavily on your shoulders. You once questioned why things kept going wrong and wondered what you did to deserve such hardship. But with time, you realized those trials weren't punishments. They were a process of purification. They appeared to teach you valuable lessons and help you pay off past karmic debts. Eventually, you find you no longer need to struggle excessively to hold on to things. You're no longer anxiously worrying about the future or fearing the unknown. You work diligently without being overwhelmed by ambition. You strive, but without feeling pressured. Money flows naturally, no longer a constant source of stress. You no longer desperately cling to anything or treat life as a constant battle. When your mind is at ease, when you let go of control and accept life's natural flow, things suddenly become smoother. Previously, you believed you'd only be happy after achieving specific goals, constantly setting countless conditions for your happiness, forever chasing fleeting desires. Now, you find peace even when life isn't perfect. You're no longer drawn into competitions, nor shaken by minor disruptions. You're no longer afraid of loss because you understand nothing truly belongs to you. You're no longer attached to the past, knowing everything arrives and departs for a reason. When you're ready, good things naturally come your way. You no longer chase or compete obsessively, nor worry about things beyond your control. After clearing your karma, life is no longer a struggle but rather a gentle journey. When you know how to let go, peace naturally follows. 4. Inner peace. This is a clear sign you've cleared your karma. There are days when you suddenly realize you no longer carry hidden fears, no longer lie awake at night troubled by unanswered questions, and no longer worry about an uncertain future. Your heart becomes as light as clouds in the sky, unburdened by past events or worries about what hasn't yet arrived. You no longer wonder, what will tomorrow bring? Instead, you simply enjoy today. Each moment feels complete, like morning dew sparkling in sunlight. In the past, you might have felt confused by life, fearful of change, loss, and things beyond your control. But now you understand nothing lasts forever. Everything has its moment. Just like waves in the ocean, things come and go. You no longer worry when one door closes because you trust another will open. Life's turning points no longer frighten you because you know everything happens for a reason. When someone lives with this mindset, they are neither haunted by the past nor fearful of the future. They simply relax, allowing life to flow naturally. Things that once troubled you now seem distant, like fading dreams. You no longer sink into regret, nor let the past imprison your heart. You understand that everything happens for a purpose, and life's lessons always arrive at the right time. You no longer blame yourself for things you cannot change. You no longer believe you could have acted differently because you recognize you did the best you could at the moment. Now, you smile when recalling past days. No more bitterness, no more regret. The past remains part of you, but no longer controls your soul. Each day passes, and you feel gentle joy from simple pleasures. A warm cup of tea, a sunny morning, a gentle breeze. Everything becomes a treasured gift. You no longer seek happiness from distant sources, no longer believe peace can only come after achieving certain things. You realize happiness isn't found externally, but in how you perceive life. Each moment becomes clearer, each breath more precious. You no longer rush, no longer desperately chase after transient things. You realize life isn't a race, but a journey meant to be enjoyed. When your karma has been cleared, your soul becomes free. You're no longer dragged down by past sorrows or bound by vague anxieties. You understand everything arrives and departs according to its destined time. You neither cling nor force, nor expect too much. You simply live, exist, and savor each moment with complete peace in your heart. That is the most beautiful sign of someone who has released all burdens, paid off invisible debts, and achieved genuine inner peace. 5. Fewer unexpected troubles. There were times in your life when you felt constantly caught up in endless turmoil, one challenge after another, like relentless waves giving you no moment of rest. But then one day, you notice these unexpected troubles rarely happen anymore. Life feels smoother, calmer. It's not that the world around you has changed, but rather your inner world has become calm. Life always operates according to the law of cause and effect. When your heart was filled with resentment and anxiety, or when you were stuck in complicated relationships, your life mirrored those emotions. You easily became entangled in chaotic situations and unwanted drama. But once your karma is cleared, your heart no longer reacts negatively. You no longer become overly emotional or drawn into unnecessary conflicts. As your inner peace deepens, external chaos diminishes. Every hardship in life is a lesson. If you haven't fully understood a lesson, life keeps repeating similar situations to offer you chances to grow and change. But once you've grasped the deeper meaning behind these challenges, you no longer need to repeat them. For instance, someone who repeatedly found themselves in painful relationships will stop attracting such negative connections once they recognize their own worth and learn to let go. Life follows a similar pattern. After you've grown through suffering, you no longer have to travel that painful path again. Some people repeatedly experience misfortune, betrayals, deceit, and injustice, but not because they're unlucky. It's because they haven't broken free from their karmic cycle. When your karma is cleared, you stop attracting negativity. People who once caused you pain gradually leave your life. You no longer unintentionally become entangled in drama or unpleasant situations. You're like a traveler who has weathered a storm and stepped into clear skies, surrounded by tranquility. You realize you no longer need to struggle with unnecessary issues. Everything unfolds naturally and effortlessly. If challenges arise, you face them with steadiness. Instead of panicking or avoiding them, you calmly recognize that everything has its solution. Whatever comes your way is precisely what you need. You no longer stubbornly hold on to things that aren't meant for you. No longer suffer when one door closes. Instead, you calmly wait for another door to open. You're no longer someone swept up by turbulence. Rather, you become an observer of it. And when you maintain that inner peace, turmoil rarely finds its way to you again. Peace isn't something distant or difficult to find. It doesn't come from avoiding life or attempting to control everything. It comes when you truly release unnecessary burdens, when you accept things exactly as they are. You understand everything that has happened did so for a reason. You no longer resent the past, nor fear the future. Only then does your life truly become easier, encountering fewer unexpected difficulties. It doesn't mean life no longer presents challenges. Rather, you've matured enough to no longer view challenges as turmoil. You're now strong enough to embrace everything with serenity, and that is the clearest sign you've settled all your old spiritual debts. There are moments when you suddenly realize you no longer carry persistent worries like you once did. Things that previously caused you deep pain no longer disturb your mind. Those who hurt you have moved away, making room for healthier relationships. Life stops feeling like an exhausting series of struggles and becomes a gentle flow, where everything comes and goes with ease. If you notice these signs in yourself, smile, because they prove how far you've come. You've overcome trials, cleared past karma, and are now entering a more peaceful phase of life. Now, let's move on to the next topic. Your temperament determines your fate. In life, Each person has something invisible yet more decisive for their destiny than any other factor: their temperament. There's an ancient saying, "The mind shapes your appearance, and your appearance shapes your destiny." Whether a person is short-tempered or calm, resilient or fragile, persistent or quick to quit, all these traits create significant turning points in their lives. Have you ever wondered why some people seem always lucky, succeeding effortlessly despite not being exceptionally talented? Or why others, no matter how diligent and hardworking, remain stuck? Why do some individuals naturally attract affection wherever they go, while others repel people? All these answers lie in your temperament. Temperament isn't something distant or unfamiliar. It's how you react to difficulties, control your emotions, and face life's challenges. A person who cultivates their temperament, practicing calmness, tolerance, and wisdom, can transform their fate even if born into adversity. Conversely, a hot-tempered, narrow-minded, and impulsive individual will inevitably close doors to opportunity, even when those doors stand wide open in front of them. This isn't merely theoretical, it consists of real stories and practical lessons demonstrating that changing your fate begins with changing your temperament. This content explores every hidden corner of human temperament, helping you understand what you should keep and what you need to release to achieve a peaceful, prosperous, and meaningful life. Let's embark on a journey of self-discovery, where you might find the key to unlocking an entirely new destiny. Temperament is the root of character. As it's said, temperament is the mirror reflecting destiny. Whether your life is happy or miserable, smooth or turbulent, largely depends not on fate, but on your reactions. You cannot choose your circumstances at birth, but you can choose how you respond to life. Temperament forms the foundation of character, influencing every word, every action, even the path you walk. A gentle, calm temperament can transform difficult circumstances, while a volatile, impulsive nature only brings trouble. Consider this: a momentary burst of anger, thoughtless words, or a rash action can result in irreversible mistakes. The stiffer the tree, the easier it breaks. Similarly, the more stubborn a person, the more suffering they encounter. Wise people have always understood, when your mind is calm, life becomes lighter. By learning to control your temperament, you maintain harmony at home and work, opening the door to a peaceful, serene life. Therefore, if you want to know how far someone can go in life, observe their temperament. A patient person has a wide-open future, whereas an impulsive one only leads themselves into dead ends. Everything begins with your mind. Cultivating your temperament means cultivating your character and your entire life. Relationships aren't random occurrences. They reflect each person's core temperament. People with gentle, pleasant dispositions are like cool water streams, bringing warmth and comfort to those around them. Wherever they go, they're cherished, making everyone feel refreshed, like a spring rain nourishing the heart. Conversely, rude and hot-tempered individuals resemble raging fires, causing others to withdraw and keep their distance. No matter how talented you may be, without controlling your temperament, it's difficult to maintain genuine relationships. Connections aren't defined by how many people you know, but by sincere bonds. A gentle word can unite two strangers, while a harsh comment can fracture even the closest friendships. Temperament is the key to your relationships, opening or closing doors in your life. Wise people don't fight trivial battles of words or let ego destroy valuable relationships. They understand their temperament determines how they interact with the world, and the world responds accordingly. What matters most isn't how many people you know, but how many genuine friendships you preserve. The depth and duration of your relationships ultimately depend on your temperament. In a small town, two grocery stores faced each other, one owned by Mr. Lamb, a calm and gentle man who warmly welcomed every customer. The other belonged to Mr. Hoa, who was often irritable, short-tempered, and rude to customers who asked many questions. Although the two stores sold identical products, Mr. Lamb's shop always attracted crowds, while Mr. Hoa's became increasingly deserted. Initially, Mr. Hoa didn't understand why. One day, curious, he decided to observe Mr. Lamb's store. He saw an elderly woman slowly choosing items, while Mr. Lamb patiently waited, occasionally offering gentle smiles and carefully helping her pack her purchases. When a child accidentally dropped a few cans of milk, Mr. Lamb didn't scold but gently reminded the child and helped put the cans back in place. Reflecting on himself, Mr. Hoa realized that whenever customers took too long, he would become irritated and impatient. Whenever someone accidentally dropped an item, he would angrily reprimand them. Gradually, customers began avoiding his store. One day, an old friend visited and noticed how empty Mr. Hoa's store had become. He said, "People don't just buy products because of prices. They buy because of how comfortable they feel when entering a store. Hearing this, Mr. Hoa suddenly awakened. He began changing his behavior, learning to smile, becoming more patient with customers, and controlling his temper. As time passed, Mr. Hoa's store became crowded again, not because his goods had changed, but because his temperament had improved. Relationships aren't random. Our temperament determines whether others want to stay with us. Patience dictates success. In this world, talented individuals aren't rare, but those who truly achieve greatness are few. The most significant difference lies in patience. When facing difficulties, impulsive people often allow emotions to overpower reason, like a boat losing direction amid fierce waves. In contrast, patient and calm individuals are like trees in winter. The stronger the wind, the deeper their roots grow. Such persistence enables them to overcome hardships, seize opportunities, and travel farther on their journey. Life isn't always smooth. We don't always get what we want immediately, and plans rarely succeed perfectly on the first try. But those who control their anger and avoid impulsive emotional reactions are the ones who master their destiny. Throughout history, great people faced adversity without panic or giving in to temporary setbacks. Instead, they patiently awaited the right moment. Only those who remain patient reach true success. Not arrogant in victory nor discouraged by defeat. Knowing precisely when to advance and when to step back ensures reaching your destination. Don't rush and end up failing. Don't lose your temper and lose valuable opportunities. Success only comes to those who possess enough persistence and courage to wait. Anger is your greatest enemy. Some words, once spoken in anger, can never be taken back. Some actions, done in moments of uncontrolled emotion, can lead to lifelong regret. Anger arises swiftly, like fire in the wind, yet the consequences often leave behind the ashes of once cherished relationships. In a single moment, we may wound others, but ultimately, we are the ones who suffer most. Our hearts grow heavy, our minds clouded, and our judgment obscured by negativity. Anger has never solved anything. It doesn't erase problems, it only worsens them. The angrier you become, the more control you lose, and the more you lose control, the easier it is to lose what matters most. Wise people never let anger control them. They know calmness is strength and restraint is wisdom. When anger arises, instead of letting it burn everything down, take a deep breath and step back. Once calm, clarity will naturally follow. Life already has enough challenges. Don't let anger rob you of precious things. Calmness is the greatest form of wisdom, not indifference or weakness, but the insight of those who know themselves, understand life, and skillfully face all difficulties. Amid life's turbulence, everyone occasionally feels the urge to react hastily and defend their views aggressively. But intelligence alone doesn't always win. Only those who remain calm will truly go far. Stopping yourself before speaking hurtful words, remaining silent when angry, and smiling amidst adversity, this is genuine strength. Some things only get worse if you rush. The more stubbornly you argue, the quicker you lose what's essential. When angry, you lose control of your words and actions. When calm, clarity naturally emerges. Everyone will face storms, but not everyone will overcome them. Only those who maintain inner peace, slow down, and calmly reflect can endure life's challenges without getting swept away. Calmness isn't weakness, it's strength, the power of composure, wisdom, and knowing everything will eventually be okay if you remain grounded and carefully consider your decisions. A person's temperament isn't randomly determined, it's cultivated by their inner thoughts. Whether you can control your emotions or maintain composure entirely depends on your perception of life. If your mind is always chaotic, everything around you will seem gloomy. Even small comments can trigger anger, and minor inconveniences can deeply frustrate you. The more unsettled your thoughts, the more explosive your temperament becomes. Conversely, people who maintain optimism and view situations lightly won't easily be shaken, even when things go wrong. Someone might always appear grumpy or irritable, not because their life is harder than others, but because their minds carry too many worries and negative thoughts, making them easily upset by their surroundings. On the other hand, people who consistently smile aren't free from difficulty. They've simply learned to approach life more gently. By changing your thoughts, you change your temperament. By changing your temperament, you transform your relationships and how life treats you. Keep your heart pure and focused on positivity. Your temperament will naturally become gentle, and your life will become happier. Learn to control your emotions. Emotions can elevate us to incredible heights but can also sink us into profound despair. Words spoken in anger can ruin relationships. Decisions made impulsively can cause lifelong regret. Thus, Wise people always master their emotions, refusing to be swept away by internal storms. Managing emotions doesn't mean suppression, it means transformation. When angry, don't immediately speak harshly, breathe deeply and step away from the source of frustration. When sad, rather than sinking into despair, find a quiet place for self-reflection. When hurt, remind yourself that everything eventually passes, no pain lasts forever. Controlling your emotions doesn't indicate weakness, it signifies true strength. Emotionally intelligent individuals never allow sadness to overwhelm them, anger to cloud their reason, or harsh words from others to shake them. They accept life inevitably includes disappointments, but they always choose how to respond. By mastering emotions, you master your life. Maintaining calmness amid storms, tranquility amid disappointments, that is the greatest strength a person can possess. Because whoever masters their emotions masters their destiny, choosing peace over suffering. Life is inherently imperfect, but we can always choose how we face it. Whether we live in peace or anxiety, happiness or suffering, these aren't dictated by circumstances but by our own decisions. When faced with harsh words, we can choose anger or forgiveness. If we choose anger and confrontation, we only add to our own troubles. But if we choose to smile and forgive, we immediately free ourselves. We can choose to argue or remain silent. Sometimes words can't change someone's heart, but calmness can preserve harmony. Not every argument leads to victory, but knowing when to remain silent can maintain peace. We can choose pain or letting go. Some things can never be changed, no matter how deeply we regret them. Clinging only brings suffering. But if we learn to release and accept, even the past loses its power over us, making our present lighter. Each day, we face choices. Those who maintain gentle temperaments, accepting and letting go easily, find serenity wherever they are, not because storms never come, but because they've learned to handle them gently. Temperament shapes our destiny. Circumstances alone don't determine our paths. An angry word spoken impulsively can destroy a relationship. A rash decision can squander valuable opportunities. Conversely, a person who is calm and composed maintains clarity, opening doors to a brighter future. Those who are gentle and compassionate lead peaceful lives, because their kindness and understanding naturally attract support wherever they go. Even during difficulties, their calm hearts seek solutions rather than blame. This gentleness smooths their journey, inviting blessings. In contrast, hot-tempered and impulsive individuals invite trouble upon themselves. Their easy agitation and frequent disputes draw unnecessary drama. Regardless of talent, without emotional control, it's challenging to succeed. Anger can cause lost opportunities, and impulsivity often leads to dead ends. Wisdom doesn't come from knowing everything, but from maintaining a peaceful mind. Life is full of uncertainty, yet only those who remain calm clearly see the bigger picture and make wise choices. When storms arrive, they wait patiently, turning adversity into advantage. Temperament doesn't influence just moments. It shapes an entire life. For lasting peace, first cultivate yourself. With a peaceful heart, all things naturally flow smoothly. With a harmonious temperament, your destiny flourishes. Live a peaceful life. Time flows like water. Once past, it never returns. Lost years can't be reclaimed, and past events can't be altered. Yet we can choose how to live each day meaningfully, moving forward with a lighter heart. Everyone faces pain and challenges, but those who control their temperament and maintain inner peace can still smile through life's storms. Without stubborn attachments, life's burdens naturally ease. Happiness isn't having everything you desire, it's appreciating what you already have. Those who feel content experience joy, while those who let go find freedom. Why struggle endlessly when everything eventually becomes fleeting? Why harbor resentment when it harms only yourself? Life doesn't require haste or stubbornness. Learn to flow with life, accepting what you cannot change and changing what you can. When your temperament transforms, your destiny follows. Peace isn't avoiding life, it's facing it with strength and steadiness. Live gently, calmly, without letting emotions overwhelm you. When your heart is serene, the world around you softens. Life is a long journey, and your temperament is your guiding compass. Those who control their emotions, maintain serenity, and keep a positive mindset can confidently overcome every challenge. Your temperament shapes your character, and your character shapes your destiny. Choosing calm over anger, forgiveness over resentment, letting go instead of clinging. These choices naturally make life lighter. Have you ever given your best effort, yet still failed to achieve something? Have you wondered why a particular door remains stubbornly shut, despite knocking until your hands hurt? You might see it as failure or unfairness, but have you considered it might be protection? Life doesn't always follow our wishes. Some paths, no matter how much we long to walk them, were never ours to take. Some doors, no matter how hard we push, lead only to pain. This is the universe's design. What doesn't come to you may not be meant for you. What leaves might have harmed you. Don't blame fate. When something doesn't happen, perhaps you're being protected from something worse. The chosen ones aren't those who possess everything, but those who know how to release what isn't meant for them. Thank you for visiting Ancient Wisdom. If you cherish profound philosophies and valuable lessons from the past, don't forget to subscribe for more daily wisdom. Your like motivates us greatly to continue sharing meaningful content. If you found this video helpful, please share it with friends and family to inspire mutual growth and reflection. May you always find peace and meaning in every ancient teaching. Destiny and the universe's arrangements, some encounters are fleeting yet unforgettable. Some doors remain closed no matter how hard you try, and some things you long for ultimately belong to others. Could it be that everything is already determined? The ancients said, if destined, even thousands of miles apart, you will meet again. Without fate, even face-to-face you cannot truly connect. Destiny moves like invisible currents, quietly arranging events that seem coincidental but actually have deeper reasons behind them. Some things remain unattainable despite our best efforts. We may devote ourselves entirely to pursuing a dream, yet ultimately find only emptiness. We may desperately try to hold on to someone, only for them to still drift away. We believe that enough effort can conquer anything, yet life doesn't always align with our desires. Just as a seed, even carefully planted and tended, will remain dormant until its moment comes. Like a river flowing to the sea, some stretches are gentle and calm, others rough and turbulent. Everything in the universe has its own timing and place. If something isn't meant for us, no amount of effort or desire can change that reality. Fate and invisible connections guide us. A stranger might become our soulmate, a random book can awaken our minds, a seemingly devastating event may actually mark a new beginning. Relationships and encounters aren't coincidental. They are invisible threads connecting us with the world, teaching us valuable lessons. Every meeting, every heartbreak, every loss carries meaning. Some people arrive to teach us love, others to show us how to let go. What is meant to be will find its way. When the lesson ends, people naturally move on. An old story tells of a traveler searching for a bridge leading to a land of happiness. Along his journey, he met an elderly man by a stream, who told him, "You already have everything you need to be happy, but you haven't realized it." Confused, the traveler continued searching but never found the bridge. Only when exhausted and no longer striving did he understand that happiness wasn't somewhere far away but already within him. Everything in the universe moves according to its own rhythm. Trying to force outcomes only leads to exhaustion. Acceptance brings peace. When we grasp this truth, we see every experience, good or bad, has a reason. Some things we endlessly chase only come when we stop searching. Pains we resist vanish once we finally let go. In life, not everything requires struggle or grasping tightly. The wind passes freely through grass because nothing obstructs it. Water flows effortlessly through mountains because it doesn't resist. If something is truly destined, even a winding path will lead it to you. If not, clinging desperately will only leave you holding illusions. The most beautiful thing in life isn't possession but understanding, realizing that not everything is ours to control, accepting circumstances rather than resisting them, knowing letting go isn't losing, but freeing yourself to welcome what's next. Therefore, live peacefully, try without forcing outcomes, cherish without clinging, trust that the universe has its own perfect plan, and whatever comes your way is ultimately for your good. It's not failure, it's protection. Sometimes we pour our hearts into something, yet it slips away. Some paths we long to walk remain forever blocked. Relationships we try so hard to keep still fall apart. We label this failure, yet perhaps it's actually the universe protecting us. The things you don't achieve aren't necessarily bad. We often assume effort guarantees success, but life doesn't always follow such simple logic. Despite our best efforts, some goals remain out of reach. At such moments, we blame ourselves, feel hurt, and question everything. But have we ever asked ourselves if what we desire is truly good for us? An unexpected rainstorm might cause us to miss a bus, yet spare us from an accident. Our dream job might never materialize, but perhaps it's creating space for something more suitable. Someone leaving might hurt deeply, yet maybe this is the universe protecting us from greater pain. Not every closed door is a loss. Sometimes, it's protection from things not meant for us. The woman and her losses. A young woman dreamed of a happy family. She deeply loved a man, but he left her, and her world collapsed. Later, she met another and married him, but their marriage soon became painful. He neglected and undervalued her. Despite attempts to repair the relationship, she ultimately decided to leave. Again devastated, she believed happiness was unattainable. But when she stopped desperately seeking and focused on herself, the man truly meant for her appeared quietly and deeply. Looking back, she understood. The first man taught her endurance, the second taught her to let go, and the last showed her genuine love. Had she clung to what wasn't meant for her, she would never have found true happiness. Everything we lose simply wasn't meant to be ours. What truly belongs to us will eventually find its way. Gaining isn't always good. Losing isn't necessarily bad. The farmer's story. Once, a poor farmer had only one horse. When the horse ran away, neighbors sympathized, saying, "How unlucky." But the farmer calmly responded, "Good or bad, who knows?" Days later, the horse returned, bringing a herd of wild horses. Neighbors rejoiced, saying he was very fortunate, but he again replied, "Good or bad, who knows?" His son later broke his leg riding one of the wild horses. Everyone lamented, "How tragic." Yet the farmer remained calm. Good or bad, who knows? Soon after, war broke out, and all able-bodied young men were drafted, but the son was exempt due to his injury. Only then did neighbors understand. Misfortune might be a blessing in disguise. Life moves according to its own wisdom. Don't rush to mourn losses or celebrate gains. Everything might just be guiding you exactly where you need to go. When one door closes, another opens. Sometimes what we lose gives us wisdom in exchange. People who leave create space for others better suited to enter our lives. Unfulfilled dreams can lead us down better paths. Only looking back can we truly see everything had its purpose. The universe always knows what's best for us. So when life closes a door, don't panic. Trust that somewhere, at the right moment, another door is already prepared for you. Relationships gather through fate and disperse when fate ends. Some people come into our lives like warm summer breezes, bringing joy and warmth, yet eventually leave. Relationships we thought would last forever may fade like ink washed away by water. Companions we believed indispensable may drift apart over time. When that happens, we suffer deeply, wondering, why did someone I loved so much leave? Why does a close friendship become distant? Why does a job that felt so right suddenly feel wrong? Perhaps the answer can be summed up in just two words: karmic connection. All relationships in this world exist through karmic ties. No meeting is ever coincidental. Some people appear in our lives to teach us lessons. Some relationships help us grow. Some connections last only briefly yet leave deep imprints on our hearts. Love, friendship, family, or career, everything follows the invisible currents of fate. In love, some people come to teach us how to love, not necessarily to stay forever. Someone we believe is our destiny might only become a cherished memory. Family, our parents nurture and raise us, but one day we must leave their side to find our own path. Children come through karmic bonds but aren't possessions. When karma is fulfilled, we must learn to let go. Careers, we might devote many years to a job, only to one day realize it's no longer suitable. Colleagues who once stood by our side may eventually take different paths. Nothing is permanent. Change is the only certainty. Everything has a beginning and an end, connected through karmic ties. Why do people appear in our lives only to leave again? Have we considered that they depart not because they changed, but because they fulfilled their purpose? Someone arrives when we feel weak, teaching us strength, then departs. A love comes when we're lonely, bringing happiness, then fades when its lesson ends. A job provides valuable experience and growth, then concludes. They enter when we need guidance. When we become whole, they move on. Our pain arises not because they left, but because we haven't yet learned acceptance. Learn to let go and embrace change. A falling leaf doesn't signify a dying tree, it simply makes room for new growth. A drop of water flows freely, never grasping, and thus remains clear. Similarly, letting go isn't losing, it creates space for new beginnings. When karma ends, don't force it. When one door closes, trust that another is about to open. When someone departs, smile gratefully for their presence. Nothing lasts forever, and nothing is ever truly lost, only karmic connections transform. Every encounter is precious. Some people journey with us only briefly, yet hold our hands through weary moments. Some relationships last only a season, yet warm us through harsh winters. Some connections are short-lived, yet unforgettable. Welcome connections joyfully, and let them go gracefully. If we've loved sincerely and treasured each moment, we'll never regret, even when they end. Life is a long train ride. Some people step on, others step off. We can't hold anyone by our side forever, but we can cherish the memories in our hearts. When things don't go our way, something better awaits. Certain doors close only to make way for wider ones. Sometimes we give our all yet fail to achieve our desires. Dreams we've cherished take different paths. People we thought would stay forever become distant memories. We feel hurt, bitter, and even unfairly treated. But have we asked ourselves if what we lost was truly ours? Could today's breakdown silently lead us to something greater? The universe operates by a strange principle. Whenever it takes something away, it compensates us with something else. The question is whether we have enough patience to wait for it. Universal compensation works mysteriously. Losing an opportunity may mean it wasn't suitable. Failure often teaches valuable lessons. Someone's departure may prepare the way for someone better. Sometimes we desperately want certain doors to open, but the universe keeps them closed, not because we're undeserving, but because the path beyond that door isn't meant for us. Yet when one door closes, another opens. New opportunities, new journeys, paths we've never imagined. Consider those who faced repeated failures before achieving success. Steve Jobs was fired from his own company, only to return with greater innovations. J.K. Rowling endured poverty and rejection over a dozen times before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Jack Ma failed college entrance exams repeatedly, rejected from numerous jobs before founding Alibaba. They each hit rock bottom, but these moments became stepping stones toward greater achievements. What seemed like failure was merely redirection toward something better. When we lose something, we gain something better in return. Sometimes, we don't achieve our goals because the universe knows we deserve more. A closed door may guide us toward a path we never dared dream. Do we have enough faith to continue walking forward? If you've lost an opportunity, don't despair. A better chance may await. If someone leaves, don't mourn excessively. A more suitable person might soon appear. If a dream remains unfulfilled, don't give up. Perhaps a greater dream is waiting. Trust destiny. Trust your journey. And believe everything happens for a reason. Cause and effect, everything has its reason. A seed doesn't sprout in one day. A small stream doesn't instantly become a mighty river. Enlightenment doesn't occur without trials. Everything happens for a reason. Nothing is random, nothing meaningless. Today's experiences may result from yesterday's actions. The story of the young monk who became Master Xuanzang. Once, there was a young monk who aspired to spiritual enlightenment. He diligently studied sacred texts yet often complained during trials. Why is spiritual practice so hard? Why doesn't anyone understand me? Why, despite my effort, am I still not enlightened? One day, his master took him to a stream, pointing to a large stone worn smooth by flowing water. He asked, "Do you see? This tiny stream wears down stone not because it's powerful, but because it perseveres. You, too, must mature patiently to become who you wish to be." This young monk later became the revered Master Xuanzang, known as Tang Sanzang. His famous pilgrimage to obtain Buddhist scriptures was arduous and filled with temptation, confusion, and danger. Yet years of training and perseverance gave him strength to overcome every obstacle. His experiences weren't random. They were necessary trials preparing him for a greater purpose. Whatever isn't meant for you can't be kept through force. Some things slip away despite our tightest grasp. People we love deeply may still choose to leave. Opportunities we strive hardest for sometimes vanish. We may grieve or regret, but this is karma's nature. What's not destined for us cannot be held onto by force. Conversely, what's truly meant for us will come despite obstacles. No forcing, no clinging required. Live wholeheartedly, do what's right, and trust that life itself will eventually reveal its answers. Good and evil both carry consequences, so don't seek rewards, just live ethically. Some ask, why haven't I seen good returns despite doing good deeds? But trees don't bear fruit immediately after planting seeds. Karma doesn't work overnight. The good deeds we perform today may take a long time to yield results, and bad actions, though they may not immediately show consequences, always leave traces behind. Those who live virtuously, despite facing life's challenges, will ultimately find peace. Those who live immorally might appear successful now, but will eventually pay a price. Thus, there's no need to desire distant outcomes or doubt karma. Simply live each day with honesty and kindness, and life will unfold in the best possible way. Learn to let go to grow. We often think maturity means tightly holding everything, holding onto a person, a relationship, or a dream. Yet the more we cling, the more exhausted we become, because not everything is meant for us. Some things, the tighter we grasp, the faster they slip away. Like sand, the harder we squeeze, the more it escapes through our fingers. Or a bird, the tighter we hold, the more desperately it tries to break free. Maturity isn't about having everything. It's knowing how to release what no longer suits us. Happiness doesn't come from controlling everything, but from acceptance. Some people constantly desire things to go their way. They want everyone to treat them well, their jobs always to go smoothly, and their lives free from setbacks. But life doesn't always follow our wishes. There are sunny days and stormy days. Things will come and go beyond our control. Insisting on controlling everything brings endless suffering. But if we learn acceptance, learn to flow flexibly with life's changes, we'll find peace even in imperfect circumstances. When betrayed or hurt, how do we move forward? Certain pains we can't immediately understand. Why did someone we trusted leave us? Why did someone we deeply loved hurt us? But have we considered these events have their reasons? Perhaps they're meant to wake us up, to help us realize who genuinely deserves our kindness. Perhaps they're lessons to make us stronger, wiser. Perhaps one door closed so another, better door could open. Instead of drowning in sorrow, learn to move forward. Not because what we lost doesn't matter, but because we deserve better things ahead. When the heart is calm, all things settle. The secret to peaceful living is simple. Life inevitably brings storms, but those with inner strength remain calm even amid chaos. Some are wealthy yet constantly anxious, afraid of losing what they have. Others live simply but with ease in their hearts. Peace doesn't depend on possessions, but on our perspective. When we release attachments, burdens lessen. When we learn to let go, our hearts become open and lighter. When we stop fixating on things beyond our control, we truly live meaningful and serene lives. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing unnecessary burdens to hold on to what's truly valuable. Happiness and peace both start within. Sometimes we give without receiving immediately, but eventually, we'll see the good we plant blossom in unexpected ways. Life operates on cause and effect. Kindness is never meaningless. Helping someone today may attract helpful people in our future. Suffering today might bring blessings tomorrow. True kindness needs no display. The story of the farmer who shared his award-winning corn seed. A farmer regularly entered corn-growing competitions, always winning first prize. One day, someone asked, "What's your secret to consistently growing the best corn?" He smiled and answered, "I always share my best corn seeds with my neighbors." Surprised, the person asked, "But if they also have good corn seeds, wouldn't they become your competitors?" Calmly, the farmer replied, "Don't you know that the wind carries pollen from field to field? If my neighbors plant inferior corn, their pollen will reduce my corn's quality. Therefore, the only way to grow the best corn is to help my neighbors also grow good corn." This simple story holds a profound lesson. Helping others improve also makes us better. There's a saying, "You reap what you sow." Doing good isn't just about helping others, but nurturing your own heart. Helping someone through difficulty teaches us compassion. Sharing joy brings warmth to our hearts. Giving sincerely draws good connections back to us. People who live kindly may not always be materially wealthy, but they possess spiritual richness and peace. Life might not give them everything they desire, but it surely gives them what they deserve. One blooming flower can fragrance an entire garden. A good heart brings joy throughout a lifetime. Just hold firm to your belief in karma, and you'll see the universe never lets down genuinely good people. Accept what cannot be changed. There are situations we try our best to alter yet remain unchanged, people we desperately hold on to yet still leave, wishes we long for yet life arranges differently. Facing adversity, we have two choices: endlessly complain about fate or learn acceptance and growth. Accepting reality isn't weakness, it's true wisdom. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing what doesn't belong to us to focus energy on more worthy things. In difficult times, see them as growth opportunities. A storm might uproot weaker trees yet strengthens others by forcing their roots deeper. Likewise, adversity isn't meant to defeat us, but to strengthen us. Some people find their strongest selves only after losing everything. Some losses that feel devastating eventually reveal themselves as turning points that transform our lives. When life pushes us to our limits, ask yourself, what lesson am I learning here? What can I do with what I have now? True growth doesn't come from peaceful days, but from failures, tears, and endured pain. The story of a young man overcoming adversity. A young man constantly complained about his hardships. Born poor, experiencing endless failures, his efforts seemed futile. In despair, he sought a wise monk and asked, "Why do I always suffer? Why is fate unfair?" The monk silently took him to a swift-flowing stream and pointed at smooth stones beneath the water, saying, "Do you see those stones? They've been polished by constant flowing water. Though they might feel pain, this erosion makes them smooth and bright. Without this constant flow, they'd remain rough rocks." Astonished, the young man realized adversity was the water polishing his soul. Without life's challenges and pain, he'd remain unchanged. He stopped complaining, accepted reality, and worked smarter. Over years, he transformed his life, not because fate changed, but because his perspective changed. Accepting circumstances made him stronger, letting go made him lighter. Some things don't go according to our wishes, yet they always have reasons. Some paths seem blocked but lead us to better ones. Learn acceptance without bitterness or regret. Be stable like mountains, patient like rivers. One day, we'll understand that every challenge was a blessing helping us grow. Remain kind despite others' actions. Life is like a chess game. Each person chooses their moves differently. Some treat the world with kindness, others choose cunning. But kindness isn't naivete or weakness, it's resilience, inner strength, and steadiness of character. Good people aren't kind for immediate reward, they're kind to maintain inner peace. Good character isn't weakness but true strength. Some think kindness allows manipulative people advantages, but those gains are short-lived. People without integrity can't enjoy true happiness despite achievements. True kindness isn't vulnerability for others to exploit. It's strength to remain true to oneself amidst complexity. Virtuous people might lose initially but ultimately receive lasting rewards, trust, genuine affection, and protection. Those who commit wrongdoing face inevitable consequences, while good people remain protected by karma. "Aren't you helping your competitors?" someone asked. The farmer smiled and replied, "If my neighbors grow poor-quality corn, the wind will carry pollen from their fields into mine, reducing the quality of my own crop. If I want a good harvest, I must help others have a good harvest as well." Kindness works the same way. When we help others, we're also helping ourselves. When we give goodness, positive energy eventually returns to us. Those who sow negativity, no matter how cleverly they conceal it, will never escape the law of karma. Everything we do today will, sooner or later, come back to us. Maintain your kindness, but learn to protect yourself. Being kind doesn't mean allowing others to take advantage of your goodwill. Help others, but don't let yourself be exploited. Love sincerely, but never lose sight of who you are. Be like a candle that illuminates darkness, yet knows how to shield itself from the wind. Continue living with kindness. No matter how the world changes, uphold your character regardless of how others treat you. Ultimately, kindness itself will guide you toward the most beautiful things in life. Thank you for taking the time to listen. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button to support our channel and share it with friends and family so they can also receive meaningful insights. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our latest content. Each subscription is a great motivation for us to continue sharing deep and inspiring lessons. See you in the next video. Wishing you peace and happiness always.